deepens, former President Donald Trump leading President Biden among likely voters 52 to 48%. Also, 45% of registered voters rate Biden's presidency so far as poor, and just 38% give Trump's time in office that very same rating.
Political elections in the United States are consistently captivating. With Donald Trump and Joe Biden vying for the Oval Office, Americans are engaging in lively debates about potential outcomes. It's undeniable that whoever clinches the presidency will profoundly affect the lives of both Americans and immigrants alike. Consequently, the election's outcome holds significance for everybody. Now, presently, the focal point of discussion revolves around which candidate presents superior policies and pledges. Our analysis today will examine the future proposals, past accomplishments, and setbacks of both contenders to ascertain who offers more promising leadership, Donald Trump or Joe Biden. The contest between Trump and Biden has always been legendary, as a rematch between the current president and his immediate predecessor in 2024. The general elections are gonna be really unique this year. Many are standing in support of Donald Trump, while others have their votes ready for Biden's presidency to continue. Starting with Donald Trump, his campaign is primarily focused on attacking President Biden. At the outset, it seems like a regular political battle.
You're fired! You're fired! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of the White House!
However, many believe that Trump's campaign is designed to mask his own vulnerabilities. The most recent issue for Trump is the plethora of criminal charges and ongoing litigation against him. He's also being scrutinized for the undermining of the 2020 election results, which ultimately led to the January 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. But at the same time, Joe Biden also has his fair share of issues, starting with the struggle of selling his first-term achievements and convincing the American public that he's the perfect, energetic candidate for the upcoming elections. Yet, many aren't satisfied due to Joe Biden's old age and how he under-delivered on his previous promises. While Trump goes on to attack Biden in his campaign, Joe Biden's campaign is no less, as he indirectly paints his predecessor as a threat to the American democracy, economy, defense, and the very country itself. While this method might be useful against newer politicians, Susan Estrich, a Democratic author and analyst, believes that it's unlikely to work against a seasoned politician like Donald Trump. Currently, Joe Biden's popularity is decreasing significantly as he enters the 2024 elections, despite being the current president. This can be a problem for him, as many Americans are not keen on having him run for the presidency a second time. But at the same time, views about Trump, especially because of the lawsuits against him, are also not super positive. Hence, all indications signal a tight, challenging election this year. Subsequently, national polls have been conducted and the results show a very close neck-and-neck battle between the two candidates. However, in some parts, Trump is taking the lead, albeit by very small margins. Nevertheless, it's still quite early to assume who the winning candidate's going to be. Compared to other countries, the nature of the US political map is quite unique. Although polling stations are to be made all over the nation, the elections will be decided in only a handful of states, largely because of the electoral college system of voting. Now, the system depends on who wins each state, and since there's almost an equal number of both Democratic and Republican states, it's hard to say which way the elections are going to go. According to analysts, the most crucial states that could go either way this year include Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin. Nevada is also considered to be part of this list, but due to a smaller population, it holds a relatively weaker impact overall. Now, at the same time, some states have also turned their loyalties massively, and was once a battleground in the previous elections seems to be shifted to one side this time around. For example, Florida and North Carolina have shown significant support for the Republican Party, whereas Virginia and Colorado appear to be more solidly Democratic. Let's move on to a more important, rather sensitive topic, the American economy. Now, we've all seen how the American economy plummeted and then got back on its feet in previous years. This unusual cycle is particularly alarming as it directly affects every business and tax-paying citizen. But according to the current analysis, economic indicators are relatively positive, making the 2024 elections hard to predict. As of today, numbers show that unemployment in America is at a record low, the stock market's booming, and the overall economy is growing at a steady clip. Yet the average American is content that the economy has taken a hit and their lifestyles have seen a steady decline. It's no secret that during the current president's tenure, economic downfalls were seen. Now, Mr. Trump is using this to his advantage in his current campaign.
We handed Joe Biden the fastest economic recovery ever recorded. He took that booming economy and he promptly blew it to shreds,
indicating the years of inflation, the high cost of housing, and the decline in sales of homes in the U.S. At the Trump victory party in Iowa, a digital display was seen that broadcasted graphics showing the rising home mortgage rates during Joe Biden's administration and how it's dangerously affecting every American. On the other hand, some signs of hope for Mr. Biden have also appeared recently. According to a survey of consumer confidence conducted by the University of Michigan, Americans have shown a great increase, and since July 2021, consumer confidence has been at an all-time high. Subsequently, gas prices and inflation have also fallen. Now it's a fact that Americans vote with their wallets, and whatever candidate brings the economy to a stable, more favorable position, the vote's going to go to them. Therefore, there's still plenty of time for voters to change their minds and assess the current economic situation in depth before they finalize their vote. Secondly, Joe Biden will also rely heavily on how his administration helped the U.S. to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic better than any other country on the map, and how his blend of infrastructure investment, tax cuts, and social spending improved a lot of working Americans. Apart from the economy, another important factor is the social advancements, tackling issues and passing legislation that favors Americans solely. In recent times, one of the most prevailing and controversial issues was the judgment of the U.S. Supreme Court against abortion rights. Joe Biden's campaign is certain to aim and blame Mr. Trump for helping to make abortion illegal. Now, Democrats have been riding a groundswell of support on the issue, and Mr. Biden, along with Vice President Kamala Harris, also held a campaign event in Northern Virginia that focused narrowly on the abortion issue.
Take a look at what's happening in states like Texas. They just passed a law empowering complete strangers to become bounty hunters, going after women who exercise their right to choose.
Since the judgment, this social issue gained hype and has been on the ballot. The pro-choice question is won, the same stance that Mr. Biden also supports. However, Donald Trump's reply to the abortion issue would be the immigration problems at borders. Certainly, Americans and professional analysts believe that Biden's administration has lost control over the southern border's safety and security. In December of 2023, a record 249,785 arrests were made on the Mexican border, and many undocumented migrants, as well as asylum seekers, have entered America unnoticed and illegally. National polls show that immigration is a strong base for Mr. Trump's presidential campaign this year, and is a great source of weakness for the president and division among Democrats. Lastly, another strong issue is transgender rights. With the LGBTQ+ community fighting strongly against discrimination, Mr. Donald Trump's stance is quite old school, as some would say. Trump believes in asking Congress to pass a bill establishing the recognition of only two genders, male and female. Additionally, he strongly argues that with his crackdown on gender-affirming care, transitional hormones or transitional surgeries should not be an option in hospitals, and the hospitals that do offer these will be blocked from receiving federal funds. Joe Biden, on the other hand, is much more open to the change in modern-day America and accepts that such rights shall be given to the Americans. After all, it is their choice. Despite different views and strong arguments against each other, it's extremely hard to narrow down which candidate will emerge as the winner this year. Nevertheless, every American needs to cast their vote, since you're the one who's going to be choosing the perfect candidate for your homeland. So do you think Trump is the stronger candidate this year, or will Joe Biden emerge as the winner once again? Make sure you share your opinions in the comments down below. If you're interested in getting more non-biased updates about the upcoming elections with facts and figures, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you're notified as soon as we upload our next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.